let's talk about how YouTube creates bad photographers. And first of all, YouTube is great. YouTube is a great place. Anything you need to do. I had to bleed some radiators recently, which had a different type of system. Went on YouTube, found out how to do it. 20 seconds of my life watching someone go, do this and this. Got the information. I learned photography from YouTube. Yes, I learned as well from assisting, but a lot of it I learned from YouTube. But with that comes the problem. And the problem as to why YouTube is really kind of making our career a bit rubbish. It's also stopping a lot of you from becoming professional photographers. And there's a few reasons for this. I want to go through all of them so you're aware of it so you don't fall into these traps. Now, the first one is dopamine chasing. If you've been in a hole for the last 5 years, a lot of the behaviors we have in society are to chase dopamine. It's like going on TikTok and watching these 10-second videos get those instant hits. It's not really making us happy, but it's kind of quite addictive and fun to do. So that's what we do. YouTube's no different. We go for these dopamine hits. And it comes in two forms. And the second one's, it baffles me. Firstly, it's people watching shorts and quick hit things like how to do this. It's like, here we go. Here is an answer to a problem. But the problem with photography is it's not a quick fix. If you want to be a pro, it's a lifelong pursuit. And again, and I'm going to say this a lot in the moment, you emulate the process, not the result. Knowing how to achieve the result doesn't help you. It's the process that matters. But the process doesn't get views on YouTube, which is why the results do. Now, the next part is, I don't actually understand this. People watch videos they know the answer to. And I know they do this because I see in the comments below people watching a video and then correcting it. If at any point you're correcting something in a video, it means you already know what's in the video. Now, most of the time when they correct it, they're wrong, but I'm not sure whether that's trolling or just sheer stupidity. Don't know. But if you already know it and you're not willing to change your mind on it, why watch it? And again, it's that dopamine chasing. It's like, I like this thing. I like this answer. Let's see it again. And that's not good for us as a profession. It's not good. Now, one of the great things of the internet is that it's free. Anyone can share anything out there. One of the worst parts of the internet is that anybody can share anything. I can start a channel today about landscape photography. I know nothing of landscape photography, but I can shoot it from my studio. I've got fancy cameras. People will think I know what I'm talking about just because of that. It is a free-for-all. And because of this, there are some very big channels of people telling you how to be a pro photographer, and they've never been a big pro photographer. They've never done the big jobs. They might have done some jobs, but who hasn't? Like my mate who owns a camera has shot an advert before just because his mate wanted him to do it for him for the cheaps. Doesn't make you anything special. And you know, that's a hard thing. It's one of the reasons why I try and validate my videos up front going, I am Scott. I am a commercial photographer with an agent who shoots adverts for these people. You can see my professional work over here. This is my YouTube channel, my education platform. Two different things. It's important you know who's giving you the information. And because it's a free-for-all and anyone can do it, some people doing this don't have a Scooby-Doo what they're talking about. Now, that's not to say that you have to have been a top pro photographer to be an educator. If anything, the best people at doing something are often the worst teachers. And often the best teachers are not the greatest at doing it, for sure. But there needs to be some sort of transparency here as to where your advice is coming from, where it's coming from, what it is you've done, what your experience is. Because you might be giving people advice, and I see this regularly on very big YouTube channels about the business of photography, which just isn't true. Now, the next reason that YouTube is bad for photography is the Dunning-Kruger effect. When you start out in photography, you know a little bit of information and you think you know a lot. So what you end up doing is ending up in an echo chamber of searching for videos of stuff you know exists. The problem is, and this is where a formal education really helps, the problem is you don't know what you don't know. And learning what you don't know is incredibly hard. I come across this all the time. Recently, I found someone who was better than me at photography. No, that's a rarity. There's many people better than me. But I found someone who was better than me. I could see they were better than me. I could not work out why they were better than me. I didn't know. Because I didn't know what I don't know. And it took me ages to work out what it is that I don't know that makes them better than me. Found it out eventually, but it's hard. Now, when you're a beginner, you don't know what all of these things are that exist. Most of my most useful videos have the least views. Now, of course, there's more beginners than anything else, so beginner photographers make up the majority of views, but some of them I'm like, why is no one watching this? This is like golden information which will help you change your career, but everyone's watching my video about how many shutter actuations a camera can do when it already says it on the box, and I made that video as kind of a case study. Bit bizarre, but there we go. Now, something I know a lot of you talk about here is fake pros. Now, I've been asked to call out some of these fake pros, and I don't, and there's a reason I don't. And it's twofold. One is they might not know. Two is you should never get between someone and their meal ticket if they're causing no harm. If they're causing no harm, which I don't think these people generally are, they're not malicious people, but they're not real pros and they're pretending to be pros. There's millions of them on the internet in many different walks of life. Kind of the internet's whole point is that it's a free-for-all. You need to be the person who can work out who is what. And here's a way to check if a pro photographer is really a pro photographer. Find their photography website, not their YouTube one. I have two as well. Tin House Studios is just for YouTube because it's really frowned upon in our profession to be on YouTube. Go and find their photography website. Go and see if you can find their work. Look for the client list. If the client list is nothing but camera, like for my YouTube client list, for example, we have BenQ, we have Calibrite, we have Godox. Like these are clients I've worked for as a YouTuber. They don't make me a photographer though. My photography clients are people like Papa John's, Pepsi, Greg's, GoPro. Like these are photography clients. That's what you need to be looking for. You need to do the research. It is not on everyone else on the internet to work out who is who. Because sometimes they're not even pretending to be a pro and you've assumed they're a pro. I've had people go, this photographer here on YouTube keeps making out like they're a pro. And I look at their videos and go, no, they don't. You've just assumed it because they've got fancy kit. They're a professional educator, which is an absolutely valid and important role in photography. Without professional educators, we all know nothing. It's a very, very good job to have. Not just financially, but ethically, morally. There is no slight on educators. Educators do God's work. Very important stuff. But you need to be aware of where they're coming from. And I think that's important. And there are the fake pros. I always get this advert from this one who's offering me a 5-step sales platform or something like that. Obviously, it's not legit. Go and do your own research. Now, one of the great things and great traps I fell into is motivational videos, watching stuff that makes you feel good about yourself. And you can go on YouTube and you can go and watch videos that tell you about great camera kit. You can go and watch videos that tell you about a cool process. You can go and watch how I took portraits of strangers on the streets of wherever. And it's feel-good stuff, and it makes you feel like you've achieved something. You get the dopamine hit, but really, you're just looking at results. You're just chasing results. And this whole career, it's a lifelong pursuit. You need to be chasing the process, not the results. Go through the motions. Continually work at it. Watching loads and loads of YouTube videos will not help you. Yes, it will help give you little snippets of information, but the majority of your learning is you doing the process, is you doing the work, it's you continually being a photographer. I hope this has been of use to somebody. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.